When our young people make their own choices, it empowers them to take ownership of their lives. This builds a sense of independence and autonomy. They learn that their opinions and preferences matter, which boosts their self-esteem. G'day, I'm Debra Caldow. Welcome to the Red Giraffe Solutions Expanding Worlds podcast, where we aim to support you as you help your young person with additional needs plan for their future, a future where they're safe, secure, and live a rewarding and fulfilling life. From around the world, I share stories and I share solutions from people making this possible right now. I'm a parent of a young person with additional needs, so I understand the challenges. Many of the people I've interviewed on this podcast have already helped me design a better future for my daughter, and I hope that they might help you as well to imagine what's possible for your young person. This podcast is made possible by Red Giraffe Solutions, which is a project I'm proud to be part of, supporting families to build a better future for their children. We now have available at Red Giraffe Solutions an online course called Independent Cooking Made Easy. This is a new and unique approach we developed when we realised traditional cooking techniques and recipes were never going to enable our daughter to cook without some support or supervision. It's a safe, simple system that uses no more than 5 ingredients, has no weighing, cutting or chopping, and no lifting of heavy dishes. Each of the 16 recipes in the course includes a step-by-step video of our daughter making the meal, plus a visual recipe card. We developed this for our daughter to solve her challenges with cooking, and every recipe in the course she can and does genuinely cook for herself. You can find a link to the course in this episode's show notes. In the last couple of episodes, I've shared the work being done by an organisation called Brighton Forward, and one of the topics that came up was choice, and how there is often a lack of choice for young people when it comes to moving to a suitable school or college, which can result in them becoming marginalised. Brighton Forward, through offering a different type of choice, has opened up new options for the young people who go there. When I think of choice, I also think there are other barriers that our young people face when it comes to choice, not just around the fact that there aren't enough places like Brighton Forward. In a world full of information and options, the concept of choice often fades into the background, becoming something we all take for granted. In fact, some people would argue we have too much choice. Yet the ability to choose is far more than a simple convenience. It's a fundamental part of our well-being and our personal growth. Choice is intrinsically linked to autonomy. When we're free to make decisions about our lives, we experience a sense of control. This feeling of self-determination is crucial for developing our sense of who we are. By navigating various choices, we learn about our preferences, our values, and our aspirations. We discover what's important to us as individuals. On this podcast, I've heard too many times from families about the lack of choice around things like housing, work, and even relationships that their children have. So why do our children not get given the choices they should? Well, obviously when it comes to schooling, it's a lot about a lack of funding. And this funding issue also extends past education to healthcare and social service systems, who often lack the trained professionals needed. There's also, from my own experience, policies in place in many organisations that don't really reflect the way our young people expect to be able to live their lives. But I feel there are other reasons underlying this as well. One of the main barriers, which I'm sure we'll all recognise, is low expectations for our children. There's a tendency to underestimate our young people, which often then seems to lead to decisions being made for their own good, rather than talking to them about decisions that affect their lives. When it comes to making choices, we need the information, the resources, and sometimes support to make those choices. And if our young people aren't able to communicate their preferences or understand their options, then their choices are effectively limited. And for any young person who finds communicating their thoughts challenging, that can be too easily mistaken for a lack of understanding or a lack of ability to make their own choices. But why does this all matter? Well, because I know that we all want our children to live a safe, secure and rewarding life after we're gone. When our young people make their own choices, it empowers them to take ownership of their lives. This builds a sense of independence and autonomy. They learn that their opinions and preferences matter, which boosts their self-esteem. Even the opportunity to make small choices provides valuable practice in decision-making, weighing up the options, considering the consequences, and then based on that making an informed choice. By experimenting with different choices, we discover what we like and what we dislike, what we're good at and what we enjoy. This is all part of that self-discovery of becoming an adult and developing a strong sense of our own identity. When our young people are trusted to make choices, they feel valued and respected, which boosts their confidence and self-esteem. It's true as well that when it's our choice, we're more likely to be motivated and engaged with whatever we're doing. By supporting our young people to make their own choices, it builds a foundation of trust. They learn that we respect their judgment, and we also learn that they can make good decisions. And perhaps most importantly for our young people, sometimes choices lead to unexpected outcomes. By experiencing the consequences of their decisions, they learn to problem solve and adapt. We all make mistakes, but by creating safe spaces where they can learn from their mistakes, we're helping them understand, and I'll quote one of my favourite Zig Ziglar quotes here, "Failure is an event, not a person." All of this helps build resilience, one of the most valuable skills any of us can have. So it's easy to see why choice is so valuable, but what can we do with our young people to foster a sense of autonomy and the feeling that they have some control over their lives? Well, like most things, the theory is easy, but the practice not so simple. The good news is, though, that like everything else, we can lead the way, and it can start and should start at home. Speaking for myself, I've made too many choices for my daughter in the past because I thought it was easier and often quicker. It's vital to shift the focus from doing for to supporting to. We need to empower our young people to make their own choices, even if those choices involve risks. If we really think about it, there are always opportunities for them to make daily decisions for themselves. Like many things, we need to help them practice so it becomes a habit. And our role should change from making the choice to providing guidance. And of course, there will be times, especially at the beginning, where we will need to help set the boundaries that make better decisions more likely. There's also practical support that we can provide, especially if we can find accessible technology that enables them to access the information they need to make a well-informed choice. And I think as well that we can advocate every day for them in a way that promotes their ability to make choices. Recently I was with my daughter in a medical appointment and they started talking to me, not her. I had to subtly, or maybe I wasn't that subtle, tell them to direct the questions to her, not me. Yes, of course I was there if she was unsure, but really nothing that they were asking needed me to answer for her. But this wasn't just about her, it was also reminding them that she has a voice. By cultivating this culture of choice, we can help change the way things are done. As families, we have a unique role to play in helping our children develop into confident and independent adults, helping them develop the expectation that they're in charge of their lives, and helping them practice making their own choices, sets our children up to better advocate for themselves when we're no longer able to do it for them. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to listen, and I hope that the stories and solutions shared on here help you as you support your young person to create their future. If you know anyone who would find the ideas useful, please share the podcast with them. To support the podcast, please consider finding out more about the Independent Cooking Made Easy online course. It's a safe, simple system that works. There are links to the course in the show notes. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn at Debra Caldow. I'd love to have a conversation with you on any of the topics we all care about. Bye for now.